this from here. Hopefully it's still on. All right, welcome friends to the Barriers and Breakthroughs show. I am Rochelle Pain Baum, the Pain Whisperer, and I'm a physical therapist, and I love to help you fix your pain. A good physical therapist is someone that will help you fix yourself. So I want people to message me on Facebook if they have some kind of pain. This week I had a great example for you. A patient who has a herniated disc, and she's trying to move her house, and she was hurting so bad she couldn't even stand, she couldn't sit, and because I've been a therapist for a long time, I showed her some techniques. It's called McKenzie protocol to help her, and she sent me a text last night that said, I can't believe I'm not even hurting. Like, she had pain all the way down to her foot was numb, and she was just pretty desperate because she's trying to move her house. So I helped her within a few days, and she couldn't believe that she is not even hurting now. So fun things like that without having to have surgery, have injections. Actually, she had an injection and that didn't even help. So I love to help people. You can just give me a call and we'll see if we can fix something, or I can guide you in the right direction of what you need to do. All right. Well, today we have an amazing guest live from New York City in Manhattan, and we have Erika Villalobos. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, awesome. Erika is an amazing individual. I call her mi hermana latina, ¿verdad? Que sí. So yeah, Erica and I met in Costa Rica, and just to tell you, sometimes even when you're on vacation, like, you meet people for a reason. Like, I I met you. I know I met you for a reason. It was just too hard to deny because I missed my flight and we had to drive 4 hours, and had I not missed my flight, I wouldn't have never met you. So just those great things. But Erica is such an inspiration, and I'm so glad that I met you. So um, I don't know if you remember running into me. Like, I have a picture of you when we were at the same restaurant,
Yes, of
and that's
course.
when
No,
I
I wasn't even supposed to go on that trip with my dad to the Caribbean, and he just told me, "Oh, you should come with me." And I went, but I don't usually go. So, yeah, it was definitely meant to be.
yeah. Actually, we have a couple
And
pictures.
my dad is go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, we have a few pictures because that's when I got your phone number, was at this restaurant. So you told us
Yeah.
this restaurant to go to, so we went to it, and you guys happened to be there as well. So I'm like, okay. Um, anyway, do you have that picture up? So that's your brother Alex and your dad Ricardo, and and I guess because we paid for your lunch, you guys invited us to come to your house in San Jose, which
Yeah, that was so
was,
sweet of you guys.
yeah, well, it's great because then I got to find out what an amazing athlete you are, and I actually have some pictures that you probably didn't know that I have
Oh
of
no.
you. I took a picture of us on your wall in your house. So here we have one of you in the newspaper winning the championship of, I don't know what it was called, but you were the Central American tennis champion, right?
Yeah, a while back, but yeah.
Okay, actually, I have another picture. We have two pictures there. That's really awesome. You're really intense and an amazing athlete. There's one more picture we have of your brother played tennis as well, and your mom and your dad, the cutest, darlingest picture of you when you're a little girl. You look like, when you're dressed up like Wonder Woman, you kind of have to look for that one in there. But man, oh, you were such a cute girl.
Thanks.
So yeah, you reminded me a lot of my daughter Alexis, who totally loved you as well.
I
Um,
love Alexis too.
yeah, we
She's
have a picture
my
of you and
favorite.
Alexis there at your house. And your dad was such a sweet, he's so nice. Like, he's throwing Tino up on his shoulders. And anyway, it
Yeah.
was so much fun to be in your house. So even though we were
Thank
strangers. Anyway, it was really nice of you to have us in your home. And so, tell us a little bit about what you did. You were a tennis athlete, and then you actually ended up coming to Texas, right, on a
you.
scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Played
Yeah.
for Rice
Yes.
University, right?
Yes.
I'm remembering. Like you didn't even refresh me on that one. I remember that. Um, and Rice is an intense school, and so you played 4 years there at Rice.
I ended up transferring to UC Santa Cruz
Okay.
in California, and I also played in on their tennis team.
Oh
So
man.
yeah.
So even in California too. Wow.
Yeah.
So then you got your MBA
Yes.
in finance, and then you hated doing money stuff like banking. It was boring or what?
So, my whole family was in finance and, I like numbers and econ. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll go into finance. But it was never really my passion.
Okay.
So, maybe what, like 5, 6 years later of working in banking and finance, I decided that I was gonna go after my true passion, which has always been nutrition.
Awesome.
So yeah, my
So that
parents weren't very happy at the
they
beginning.
were like, "What? You spent all this time and now?" Yeah. So now
But
that's why you're in
I,
New York City, right?
yes, yeah. So I just thought if I'm gonna keep working, for at least another 30, 40 years, I might as well enjoy what I do and be able to help others through my own experience. So yeah, so I'm glad I took that risk, and yep, now I have a second master's. My friends tell me I'm a collector of school degrees.
But you
They make
love
fun of me.
learning. You love learning. We have a picture of your graduation right up here as well. Yeah.
Yep.
I love
I,
I
yeah.
love those colors. Like, man, I wish I could graduate from NYU because just for those beautiful like colors of graduation gowns.
Yep.
Um, yeah, no, that's amazing that you've worked super hard and you're very diligent to do something like most people don't have a double master's degree. So I'm totally impressed.
Thank
So
you.
so tell us a little bit about your story. Like why nutrition? Why is that your passion and how you've learned from your past being an athlete and that kind of thing. So tell us a little bit about what barriers you've had.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, being an athlete and especially playing tennis, as you all know, we wear the skimpy outfits. So there was always a lot of pressure to look a certain way, to be a certain weight. Then nobody really told you, but you always felt that pressure. You put that pressure on yourself. So I never learned how to eat properly. So I would be doing all these crazy diets. I even had, an eating disorder when I was younger. So
Tell us
I
about
just
that.
wish that
Like when tell us about the eating disorder, just like anorexia, starving yourself. What kind of
um,
eating?
I didn't last very long on the starving. I couldn't do it. It was too hard.
To be an athlete and stuff, yeah, for sure.
But no, just like a lot of like binge eating and like even like bulimia at times.
Yeah.
So I just wish that, when I was a teenager, somebody would have taught me properly. And my mom did take me to nutritionists, but it's like I didn't really trust them. It's
Yeah.
like I thought that if I would do what they would tell me, I would gain weight. So I just wish that I would have had some other type of guidance, somebody who could look at my goals and be like, okay, I can help you. So yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take all that experience, all those fad diets that I did, all that experience on what not to do, and try to help my patients. And I feel like I'm good at it because I've already been through that, so I'm one step ahead of them. I already know what they're thinking.
Yep.
So, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference if you kind of been there, done that. And I feel the same way. Like I've had several injuries that makes it easier for me to help people that have the same injury, because I've gone through it and know how to fix it. So
Right.
that's very true. So you're
Right.
in the field of more bariatrics right now,
Yeah.
which for a lot of people that don't know what bariatrics is, it's just specializing in obese patients, correct?
Yes, and bariatrics is this entails like the surgeries to lose weight. So that could be, a number of surgeries. It could be gastric sleeve, the bypass, but the sleeve is the most common.
Okay.
That's when they take out um, almost like half of the stomach, and then they leave you with this little pouch. So yeah, so patients definitely they are not able to eat so much.
So
There's
you
like three stages to the diet. They start with protein shakes afterwards, and then they work up to solid food when their stomach is healed. Yep.
Okay. So you help them once they've had the surgery as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very interesting. So these are patients from what, 300 pounds to what?
I've seen patients that are, yeah, like 500 plus pounds. Most of them are, like upper 200s, 300s. That's the most common.
Okay.
Um, but since this, we know in my hospital, the patients are required by insurance to have 6 months, or depending on the insurance, they need to have weight management classes.
Okay.
So this is what we teach to them, the weight management classes. Yep.
Wow, that
Or
is,
we do individuals too. Hmm.
yeah, and one on one as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that is super fascinating. And I wish you could be down here because I've wanted to tap into that. I've had some people that invited me to be a part of their bariatric support group, but there wasn't enough support from the hospital, actually, and the
Mhm.
doctors. And so it wasn't very successful. And like I think we were talking, that's super important because they need it for a long term. They can't just like lose weight in 1 week. It's not like you just have a baby and then that's it. So it's a long term care that requires a lot of help and patience and yeah.
Correct. I feel that the people that are successful with the surgery will definitely have like a multidisciplinary approach. They're seeing a therapist, a psychologist. They're receiving some type of psychological help as well. And, they're doing exercise. The exercise will help with their depression or their anxiety, whatever it is they're going through. And they also have a good family support system, because if their family is eating like crap, it's very difficult for them to keep it up because they're eventually going to start their habits again. But so their family needs to be on board, which is something that is sometimes overlooked, but it's very, very important. Usually those who are successful get
Yeah,
their whole family on board. Yeah.
that is very important to say. I mean, because it could almost be like a codependent relationship, right? If
Correct.
they're not helping support your change, then it's easy for you to fall back into the negative
Yes.
pattern again, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have family members come to also learn, or is it more just patients as well? Because that would be super important, I think,
Yeah, so
in
they're
families.
they're they're allowed to bring a family member or a friend to show support. Uh, yeah, so we encourage that definitely. Hmm.
Cool. So what are some of the tricks that you've learned from some of these patients? And then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the myths of the top 4 or 5 myths I think of nutrition that I think are pretty interesting too. But you said it's super fascinating to learn from some of these patients, their tricks and things that have been successful. So name a few that are really interesting.
So one of them that was really creative was she was trying to get her family to stop drinking juice and drink the sugar-free versions, like like the Crystal Light.
Yeah.
So she got the regular carton of juice and she threw it out, and then she put in the sugar-free version, and she says they didn't even notice.
Oh wow. So
So
she dumped it out? You dumped it
Yeah,
out and then
she dumped
refilled
it
it?
out,
Oh, that's a
put
good
the
idea.
sugar-free juice in, and she says they don't even say anything. So a
Mm.
lot of it is in your head. Yeah, a lot of women especially, they're usually the ones who cook.
Yeah.
Hopefully some men will help out, but they will do like cauliflower rice, or they'll, doing little swaps here and there. And the trick is not to tell them, because if they know it's something healthy, they're gonna just block themselves from eating it. But yeah, so those are some of the tricks that I've learned from them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the other major things you said were like stop, like a couple of the most crucial things, stop drinking soda. What was it that you were saying
Yeah, I
the other
think
day?
the three main like the most important habits that you need in order to do like long-term maintenance. Because like to understand this a little bit better, some people come into doing the surgery and they think it's like a quick fix. They think it's like a diet. They think it's like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to be skinny for life. But
Yeah.
that's not the case. The hard part is maintaining the weight off. That's what's hard. I tell them the surgery, don't even worry about the surgery. The surgery is the easy
Easy
part.
part.
Losing the weight is the easy part. The hard part is maintaining it for life. So this is what we teach them. So the three main habits would be, the first one would be just not drinking your calories. So that means,
That's a
all of the
good one.
soda, all of the juice, even if it's natural juice without any sugar, it just adds up. The calories add up very quick.
Yeah.
And we're not drinking half a cup of juice. Like, what is that? We're probably drinking like 4 or 5 cups in one glass. So
Right.
it's just the calories just add up quickly. And especially I've seen like patients who regain the weight. Most of them, they start drinking juice or soda again, because
Oh,
they can't eat a lot, but they start drinking the sugary stuff again.
okay.
So I always say, okay, fine, water and seltzer are the best alternatives, but it's always good to have a backup of what you like to have, but in the sugar-free version. So let's
Okay.
say you really like to drink Coke. Yeah, Coke Zero is not the best. That you shouldn't be having it every day, but you should at least have it as a backup, and know that, know a sugar-free drink that you like, so that you have that as a backup if you have a craving. So
Yeah.
at least you can turn to something that won't add to your weight.
Right. Like a
Uh,
better bad choice, kind of.
Right, right.
Yeah.
There's all these sugar-free drinks now, and not all of them have the same sweeteners. Some of them have stevia in them if you're,
Yeah.
worried about the sweeteners being bad. Um, okay, so second habit would be including lean protein in every meal. Why? Because lean protein keeps you full. You need it. So even if you're vegetarian, you need to be eating like high protein tofu or some type of tempeh, or seitan is also very high in protein. Like beans and legumes are great, but they're half starch, half protein. So you won't get as full.
Okay, that's
Uh,
good.
right? Chicken, fish, lean beef, lean turkey, all those are great. And you need them every meal. Why? It'll stabilize your blood sugar levels, and you won't crave the sweets as much. And I tell my patients, like, what happens if you eat a piece of bread or some fruit for breakfast? You're going to be starving in a couple hours.
Yeah.
And what are you going to have as an option? Oh, so then the donuts, the croissants, all the
Bad
stuff
stuff.
that you're not supposed to have. So
Yeah.
if you're full, if you had a great omelet with a couple pieces of whole wheat toast and, a little bit of peanut butter, then you're gonna be good till lunch. So,
You won't
it's
have a
easier
craving.
to stave off all those other foods, that are, not ideal.
That's
Hmm.
great. Good.
Yeah. And then the third one would be adding more vegetables, more non-starchy vegetables. So people think, yeah, corn, peas, beets, what else do
Non-starchy
people?
meaning not a potato, right? And
Yes,
rice.
and all those that
Oh,
I'm
not rice.
mentioning are also starchy. So
What?
people will, usually just eat those.
Okay.
And so you need to do like the broccoli, the cauliflower, the lettuce, tomato. cucumbers,
Cucumber.
eggplant, zucchini, all those that are not starchy. So you can
Okay.
fill up half of your plate with that.
Okay.
And what happens when you fill your plate up with more vegetables and you learn how to cook them in tasty ways? You don't need to fill the whole plate of rice. You don't need to eat so much pasta. So you can, it's like crowding out. That's what it's called. So you crowd out your plate with more vegetables.
Awesome.
And, don't, if you're somebody who doesn't like vegetables, there's so many ways you can do them, like roasting them, doing them in the air fryer with some cooking spray. This is great. If you don't like
Put them on
vegetables,
your
it's
ice
probably,
cream, right? No, I'm
what'd
just
you say?
kidding. Put your vegetables on your ice cream, right? Chocolate
Usually,
covered.
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Usually when patients say that they don't like vegetables, it's because they were given like boiled vegetables as a kid.
Yeah, like
Yeah, of
tasteless,
course. They're
squishy,
gross.
mushy, gross. Yeah. Yeah.
So learn how to, saute some green beans with a little bit of garlic or roast them in the oven, or do them in the air fryer. Those are delicious because they'll, brown them and they're going to taste so much better than,
Yeah. Kind of like a
boiling.
French fry, just crunchy and a little bit of salt. Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
that's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so the three things: one, just to recap, don't drink your calories. Two, eat lean protein every meal, some kind of lean protein. And three, eat more vegetables,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. Half of your plate with
Half of your
vegetables.
plate, like crowding out. Oh, that's
Yep.
awesome. Okay, that's a good highlight. We'll save that one and put that up. Um, that's great information. So,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about what you've learned in your nutrition, about some of the nutrition myths that
Okay.
people believe that really aren't true. So, start with number one.
Okay, so we can talk a little bit about, since keto is all the rage these days, we can
Yeah.
talk about how carbs, the myth is that if that carbs make you fat. So that's not really true. So what happens is that any macronutrient, being carbohydrates, protein, or fat, if you eat more of it than what your body maintenance level, then you gain weight. If you eat less than your maintenance, then you lose. It's that simple. People make it complicated, but it's not. So what happens with keto? Why does it work? Well, you just took out a whole food group, You're
Yeah.
not eating all the processed crap that you were eating before. You're not eating all the cookies or the chips or the, all
French
the bread.
fries.
So
Yeah.
you you can eat carbs, but you just need to eat the right portion of them in every meal.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to eat the carbs that you like. So usually if you like rice, for example, don't cut out rice out of your diet, because what's going to happen in 2 months? You go to a party and then you're going to binge on rice because it's like, oh my God, rice. But if you learn how to eat it every day, so if you start out by eating, start out by measuring your starch.
Yeah.
So let's say you're eating 3 cups. You need to buy the little measuring cups. I know it's a pain in the butt, but
Easy.
you need to. So measure what you're having right now. So then you have a starting point. Let's say you're eating 3 cups of rice with every meal. That's fine. Don't judge yourself. Next month, what do? You try to go down to 2 and try to add more vegetables. But don't cut out food groups because it just won't work in the long run.
Right.
It's not a strategy that's going to work. So what are you going to do after you do keto? There is no end game. What happens? You go back to eating what
Your
you ate
regular
before
stuff.
and you're going to stay like that? No.
You're
You're
gonna
going to
gain
gain
more
back
weight
the
that way.
weight.
That's a good point.
So,
Like we have a student from Japan, you know what I mean? And she's thin, she's not overweight, and she eats rice like she would eat rice every meal if she wanted to, and it would be fine. But I noticed she just eats a little bit of a portion, but she eats a lot of vegetables. She eats lean protein. I've watched her how she eats, and she loves rice, right? But she's not overweight at all. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah, so even, with bread, even with you just need to learn how to eat the right portion. If you're eating half a loaf, yeah, that's why you're gaining weight. It's not the bread, it's the amount of bread that you're eating.
Yeah.
So eat, a couple slices of bread. Don't
Right.
eat
Olive
half
bread and
a
eating
loaf.
5 garlic breadsticks, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. But just, you
Instead of having
know,
just one.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's learning how to portion out your starch because you need starch. Like glucose is the best fuel for your brain. Um, so it's just, that people don't understand the amount that they're having is too much rather than, that the whole food is bad. And, no food is bad on its own.
Yeah.
It's just the portion. Yeah.
That's a good point. Instead of throwing out the baby with the bathwater, right? Like, people just cut out an entire food group. Like you say, I hadn't even thought of it that way. So that's great. Good information. Okay,
Yeah.
no, next myth was sugar. You said makes you fat.
Yes.
That's a myth.
So, yeah, it's the same thing. So sugar is just calories, everything is energy. So if you eat sugar, it's not going to go to your hips like in this commercial that I saw one time of like a Nutri-Grain bar. It was ridiculous. It was like
Uh-huh.
they were eating a Danish and then it like went to their hips or something. It was, yeah. So that doesn't happen.
Wow, that's
So
amazing. What if it went to your head? Like, whoop? That would be great. Fat head.
So it's the
Okay.
same concept, if yes, sugar is not the best in terms of it's going to make you hungrier probably because once you have something that is only sugar, it usually doesn't stave off your hunger like protein does, because it's very processed. So it gets digested very quickly. And then, the blood sugar goes up and then it crashes and then
And then
you're
you want
hungry
more.
again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we can't ever have sugar. If you have a balanced diet with enough grams of protein per day and you're eating enough vegetables, you can definitely have a small treat every day. You can do like the 80-20 rule. 80% of the foods you have are whole foods, which will fill you up because of the fiber and the protein.
Right?
And then 20% can be a fun food. It can be processed. It's not gonna make you gain weight as long as it's within your calorie goal,
Yeah.
whatever it is you're trying to achieve.
That,
But
yeah, that's
it's
really great. Like I become super picky about the kind of sugar that I eat. I like sugar, but like if it's not something that I really, really love, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to waste my calories. I'd rather have this that I really like, like ice cream versus cake, which I much prefer having ice cream. So I'm like, well, I'll just have some ice cream instead, later or something. But it helps me kind of make a better choice when I want something that I really like for my calories, from sugar. So
this we don't this is just something
okay,
personal that I've found with my own private clients is
nice.
that and with myself is that if I allow myself to have a treat and it has to be, something that I really love and I just save it for the end of the day. I eat it at the end of the day, then that keeps me on track the whole day with my intake and with the whole foods. So,
So give
yeah,
me
so
an
it kind of
example of that. That sounds good. Like I'm curious.
yeah, so it just depends what kind of mood I'm in or what the season. Sometimes I just really want like a little bit of ice cream or I'll have now it's pretzels. I don't know why. I like so pretzels are my treat.
Chocolate covered pretzels
No, 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 just like because I do this hot yoga, so I think because I sweat a
or you
lot,
need
I
salt.
crave the salt.
Yeah.
Um, but it could be anything. It could be if cookies is your thing, if chips are your thing, have, your favorite kind, but if your chips are your thing, don't get the whole bag.
Yeah,
Buy
don't
the
get an entire
small,
bag, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
buy the small individual packages, and I would only get one per day because I'd rather not have it in the house. So I'll just, when I come from work, I'll pick up one thing. If I want a candy bar, I'll get one candy bar, or I'll get whatever it is I'm craving, and I'll just get one. So
Cool.
that helps me stay on track the rest of the day. Because if I know I can have my favorite food at the end of the day, I'm
Yeah.
not going to eat something that's like less than my favorite food during the day. If there's like, cookies at work and they're not the best, but,
Yeah.
before I would have eaten them because I wasn't allowed to eat sugar on my diet. But if I know that I can eat a little bit of what I like, then that'll keep me on track.
Yeah, you're
Yep.
not going to feel deprived. Like, I can have this whenever I want, and I'm going to have it when I want tonight. You know what I mean? So it's like you're in
Yep.
control instead of subject to, like, oh no, I'm deprived, so I've got to eat this because I'm not going to get any, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
that's
Yep.
awesome. Okay,
Yep.
the next myth was the, what was it?
Oh, so the next one was eating 5 times a day increases your
Oh, increases
metabolism.
your metabolism. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's there is no there's no evidence for that. Studies are varied. Uh yeah, so there's definitely no evidence that it'll increase your metabolism. It's just the weight loss or weight gain or maintenance, it just amounts to the calories that you have per day. So you can have them in one sitting or you can have them in 7 sittings. But that same amount of energy is going to react equally when it goes into your body. Yeah, you may feel like crap if you eat all of your calories in one sitting because you're going to be so full, but that's different.
Yeah.
That's like, how you're actually feeling. But in terms of weight gain or weight loss, it's exactly the same. So that's why this whole intermittent fasting, uh, you know, what do you like? So
Yeah,
the thing
talk
with
about that.
intermittent fasting is that you need to be very structured already and be knowledgeable on your diet and how to count calories and how to count macros. So
Okay.
if you don't know how to do that, then I would not recommend
Idiot.
intermittent fasting. Why? Because people who do it and who have not had experience
Yeah.
with nutrition and counting calories and eating enough protein, they get to lunch and they're going to eat everything
Yeah, they're
and they
just
won't
gonna go
know what to eat.
crazy. They're so
You,
hungry, right?
yeah, you need to have already learned how to meal prep so that you know that, okay, lunch comes, I'm going to be starving, then I'm going to have enough protein, I'm going to have a couple of chicken breasts, and I'm going to have, but you got to know these things, and most people don't. Most people don't do the basics. So I feel that's like an advanced strategy for people who already are doing the right thing,
Yeah.
but want to get to a very, a goal that is like a physique that is
Right.
difficult to achieve. Maybe get down, for guys, get down less than 10%
Lower
body
body.
fat, or women 15 or less, which is very hard. So
Yeah.
then they use the strategy so that they don't feel as deprived. So if they're having like 2 big meals instead of 3 smaller ones because their calorie intake has to be very low,
Yeah.
then they don't feel as deprived. But for the average Joe, I wouldn't recommend it. I would try to just stick to the lean protein, the 3 meals, and do more veggies. That'll do the trick.
Okay.
And once you get that down, then I would suggest you try it. But unless you already have the basics down, I wouldn't try it because you're going to be ravenous at lunchtime and you're not going to eat the right thing.
Yeah, you're just gonna kind of go crazy. That's a good point. Tell me a little bit about, like, what do you recommend for keeping your keeping track of your calories? Like My Fitness Pal, I know there's a lot of apps. Is there something that you highly recommend? I'm just curious.
I love my Fitness Pal. That's I always use it and it's great because it has like these when you look for the food
Comes
it
up
has these
easily.
ones. Hmm? Sorry.
It comes up easily, like it's easy to find, right?
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
has these ones that have a check mark on them, like a green check mark, and that means they're certified by them, the calories.
Okay.
uh Yeah, so I think it's definitely a very reliable tool, and if you want to get to, those physiques that you see on Instagram, you definitely need to learn how to use the tool. Because if you don't, it's very difficult to know where you're at, what you're doing, what can we do to improve, or the calories. You need to track to be able to, set your next goal.
Right. I
Yes.
mean, there's so much information out there nowadays with the internet, right? Like, there's so much
Yeah.
information. Like, how do you filter the right thing and how do you get the guidance? Which I think would be a great reason why people should, like, have you consult with them to help guide them through that, like to make sure you've learned everything in school and it's not just a fad thing. And you're working with people that are successful and it's really good experience that other people don't have.
Oh, thank
So,
you. No, I'm just very passionate about what I do. I love keeping up with the current literature, and it just doesn't feel like work. Because, like when I used to be in banking, my mom would make me read The Economist, and that seemed like a job.
oh my goodness. Wow, how fun. I love it. The
Yeah, but
Economist.
now it's like I love reading nutrition studies, and most people think it's very boring. So
No,
so yeah.
that's super important that you're actually reading the research that's going on behind everything, right? I think we
Yeah,
have
I
one
love
more myth.
yeah.
One more myth that was about, I think you said, since I just went to Argentina and everybody eats dinner at like 11 p.m. and
Oh
midnight.
yeah,
Like we
yeah.
were eating so
Yeah.
late all the time. But the myth
Yeah.
is what again?
It's that if you eat late at night, everything turns into fat.
Oh, okay.
So again, no. I mean, unless you have some type of like reflux
Uh-huh.
or some condition like that, where you definitely need to eat at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep, because
You
you'll
don't
get
want to get,
reflux if you
yeah,
don't.
reflex.
Um,
Heartburn. Yeah.
yeah, but if you are somebody, a couple hours, 3 hours before bedtime is perfectly fine. And it doesn't matter. The calories get absorbed the same way. If you eat them earlier in the day, they don't get burned off. And then, it just doesn't, your body doesn't work that way. Your
Yeah.
body is a little bit more complex than that. Yeah,
Like,
so
okay, I'm going to
it
bed,
doesn't.
turn off everything, and yeah, I'll start digesting once I wake up, right?
No, yeah,
No.
it's not even like, it doesn't register calories per day. Like you gain or lose weight in a matter of weeks. It's not really like a daily thing, that
Yeah.
it stops when you go to sleep, and no,
Yeah.
it keeps going.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's definitely a myth that's not true. And they've shown it with the intermittent fasting, because most people will have a later meal. So like 8,
Mm,
9,
right, and
and
they're still
they're
losing
losing
weight.
weight. So it's not the time that when you eat.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome information. Okay,
Yeah.
so if somebody wants to consult with you, um, and I know we're going to have a follow-up interview with you later on down the road where you probably can share a little more information about specific examples, maybe somebody that you start helping and what really helped them specifically. I wanted you to talk about fun recipes too that you've used and things that you've learned and other tricks of the trade. So we'll have you on again. I'm super excited about that. But for those
Awesome.
people that are interested in starting now, like how you have a website, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I have a website. Yeah. So evnutrition .net.
evnutrition.net. Okay. And
And
what's the best way for people to get a hold of you or how do they ask for your help?
okay, so they can email me at evnutrition@gmail.com. Yeah. Sorry, Erica V Nutrition. Erica with a K.
Erika with a K,
V as
V
in Victor
nutrition
at gmail dot
at
com.
gmail.com. Okay, Erika with a K, A V nutrition at gmail.com. Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
and you're on Instagram too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I think I've seen some great things that you posted, like different ideas of food, and I love that. So I'm excited to have you on again, and we can talk more about certain kinds of recipes and fun things that you make. Like Morgan, my daughter, she does not like vegetables, so I'm sure you can give me some good ideas for her to like make
Yeah.
green beans taste like French fries. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting for
Yeah.
that one. So anyway, so yeah, well, thanks so much for joining us all the way from New York City. I know it's later for you over there, and you got a busy day ahead tomorrow, but I'm really excited to learn from all of your studies and of working with real people and seeing how they're successful. And since you love to read research studies, that's your wealth of information as well. So
Thanks so much
super
for having
excited.
me.
Yeah, I can't wait to have you on again. Maybe I'll have to come up there, make an excuse to come up and visit you again and
Yay!
do something fun together. So we do have one more video. I wanted to show this because
Uh,
I did a post about how you practice what you preach. So there's a video of you doing box jumps. And
yeah.
I mean, I've tried those before. And I think the first time I might have scraped my shin on the box. And like you're just jumping up there like no problem, like an athlete would. So do we have that video? Okay, we're gonna show that right fast.
I'm sure you were really good at it.
Awesome. No, no. The reason I really like that too is because your face is very intense,
Yeah.
and you so
Too intense.
even though you don't seem like that kind of person, you are because you're an amazing athlete and you've
Oh,
accomplished amazing
thank you.
things. And I know you apply that in your professional field, especially because you're so passionate about it. So I know anybody that wants to use you as, for any consulting or whatever, that you're going to be very intense in helping them.
Yeah.
And if they're intense as well, they're going to be successful. And I know your dream, you said you wanted to help athletes, right?
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
would love to help athletes. Yes, because I know, I've been through that, so I know the stressors that they have and, how they
Awesome.
think and so
Well, cool. So maybe the next time we'll see what kind of athletes we can shoot your way and get you working with some of them. So I know a few that I should recommend to you. So
great, great.
yeah.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Erica, for being on the Barriers and Breakthrough show. And we'll be in touch. Hope everybody connects with her. Email ericavnutrition@gmail.com or go to her webpage, evnutrition.net. And everybody make sure and tune in. You can also go to our YouTube page and look at all of our episodes of the Barriers and Breakthrough show. So there's a lot of great guests on there. You're going to learn a lot from each one because everybody has amazing barriers that they've had breakthroughs with. So join us over at YouTube on the YouTube channel. Next week we have Roshan Williams. She has her own magazine, Fight for Her Life magazine, and Saving Our Daughters uh, through having chronic disease. So she has a nonprofit and also a magazine, and she's an amazing gal. So she'll be on next week, next Thursday, 8 p.m. on the Barriers and Breakthrough show. And also tell all your friends, like us on Facebook, go to YouTube, follow us on Instagram. And if anybody wants to be on our show, just have them contact me. We'd love to have them on the show. So thanks so much. Have a good evening, everybody. We'll tune in and see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye. Thanks, Sarah. Hi, friends. It's
You.
Rochelle Payne Baum, your pain whisperer. I'm a physical therapist and I love to help people fix their pain. And a good physical therapist will help you learn how to fix yourself. I also love to interview people on my Barriers and Breakthroughs show, where amazing people, share the barriers that they've had and what breakthroughs have helped them overcome these barriers. I wanted to let you know we have a YouTube channel where you can subscribe. You can look at our 44 past episodes, search for something that will inspire you and learn something from them. So go tell your family and friends to subscribe to Barriers and Breakthroughs on YouTube channel, and we will see you over there.